Hey guys, we got something in last week that's really very rare and very cool. A presentation sword from Hermann Goring to one of his officers. Come check this out. Okay, this is the presentation sword. We'll take a closer look at that. But first, let's give a little bit of background. Hermann Goring, everybody knows, was very flamboyant. He liked the fancy uniforms. He loved firearms, collected firearms. And so, of course, we would expect that he would give out presentation pieces. The other Nazi leaders that gave out presentation pieces, I know Fritz Sauckel was the Minister of Labor. Basically, because of his connections with slave labor, companies gave him a lot of booty in exchange for getting workers. And he actually gave out engraved PPs, quite a few of them. I think there's probably about a dozen that he gave out. I've seen about 5 of them. Beyond that, we know Himmler liked to give out presentation pieces, and he has signed pieces that he gave out. Hitler, not so much. While Hitler had presentation guns, I don't remember ever seeing a presentation from Hitler to one of the officers. But this one is Goring, and he did love to give out beautiful pieces like this. We have already talked about a couple of them. We've shown this in a couple of videos. This was a Krieghoff Luger. This is inscribed. It doesn't have Goring's name on it, but it was a presentation piece that he gave out to maybe one of the aces. That was the intention, but I think a lot of these went to his hunting buddies. Not a lot. They only have like 4 or 5. And actually, Rock Island just sold an engraved one from the same time period, 1939. So a Hermann Goring presentation Luger. So that's another one. Also, this is an unusual presentation. I did feature this in a previous video because this was presented to a prison guard at Nuremberg. This is Goring's epaulet. It would go on his uniform, something like that. But this epaulet was given to a prison guard. Here's some communication from the prison guard, John Delebois, I think it would be pronounced. And there is him walking the yard in Nuremberg, the camp there. There is Goring, and I think one of these guys is Delebois. It's dated, and because of the handwriting, that is an original signature of Hermann Goring, Reichsmarshal. It looks like 7 of August 45, which would make sense because he would be in prison then. The only other thing it could be is May. I think this is August, but if it was May 7th, that's not possible because I think the war officially ended on the 8th. So he may have been in custody on the 7th. I don't know, but I believe that's the 7th of August, 1945. That's the gold epaulet. Very cool. But this sword is just as historical and cool because it was a presentation piece. You can see the gold. I believe it's gold plated over brass. They call this a second pattern. This has a clamshell. And actually, when I think of a Luftwaffe sword, I think of this. We've sold several of these in the 1200 to 1500 range. They have the distinct blue sheath and the fittings, just a distinct look, not near as ornate as this. So getting back to this one, you can see the Luftwaffe eagle, gold here. This looks almost brand new, but the write-up on it, it was only owned by 2 collectors ever, so it hasn't been through a lot of hands. I think it came in this wrap, which is not synthetic. It's old. I think it might have been original to the sword, and this is called a degen, which I had never heard of before. They call it a degen, which is a short sword or a straight sword. I believe it originated with the Swiss. They like this style, and then of course the Germans picked it up. In particular, they gave out presentation swords to the SS and the Luftwaffe, and some to the Navy. This is considered a clamshell hilt for obvious reasons, because it opens up like a clamshell, and instead of an oyster in there, you put your hand down in here, protect your thumb. I play a little pickleball, and every once in a while I get hit right there with the pickleball, so it gets all bruised. Anyway, it's got nothing to do with this sword, but it would protect my pickleball thumb using that clamshell. Now, let's take a look at the inscription itself. Again, beautiful. There's no corrosion on this at all. The logo, by the way, tells us it was made by Eichhorn, Carl Eichhorn, who was famous sword maker. And then you see it's the commander-in-chief of the Luftwaffe, and there's his signature, Hermann Goring. Now that's obviously a facsimile signature. There's an original signature and a facsimile, so you can see how he distinctly wrote his name, and he actually puts the umlauts over the O. So there's his signature. So in the inscription, you see both gold and a chrome finish, not silver, but chrome. When we turn it over, this inscription says, "In grateful recognition." So it was presented to one of the officers in the Luftwaffe. We're not sure what they accomplished. It may have been one of the generals, one of the leaders, could have been a pilot, could have been an ace, but in grateful recognition. Now, I don't know how many of these are around, but I know other collectors, sword collectors, have had them and sold them. It might only be between 5 and 10. I'm not sure. If you want to make a comment, please do. You can put it in the comments. This is the first one I've ever seen, and the first one that Legacy has ever offered to our customers. Now, this is already on our website listed under accessories, but don't take a look at it if you have a weak heart. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, though.